So welcome to this Hypermobility class. Today's theme is called Just Because You Can Doesn't Mean You Should. So when we have hypermobility, we can obviously do big ranges of movement, which in itself isn't a problem. The problem is we can do big ranges of movement without control often, and it's the control and maybe the misalignment that causes the problems. We can cause strains and injuries because we're doing big uncontrolled movements. So a way around that is to be more focused on the range of movements. So reducing the range of movements can actually help build control so that we don't do these big movements. And if you do big movements, you're much more aware of what you're doing. So building body awareness as well is a super important part of managing hypermobility. So today we're going to be standing up, which is obviously quite challenging because we've now only got our feet on the ground. In terms of awareness and proprioception, that's a little bit more challenging. But we are going to be working on centering and being aware of our posture, as well as reducing those ranges of movement. So it makes it a little bit more functional for your everyday life. So you can either be on your mat or on the floor. Find a comfortable position. I mean, ideally, you can go a little bit wider if you need to than hip distance, but your feet are facing forward. But if you're normally standing with turnout, and that's what you're used to, don't force yourself to come back in because you'll probably find that quite uncomfortable. Over time, we'd like to gradually bring you in because the problem with standing like this is I'm probably hanging into my hips a little bit more than I should. Okay, so bringing that alignment back around helps me align my pelvis a little better. Again, makes those muscles work how they should. So let's start. Find that position, and if you don't feel dizzy and you're safe to close your eyes, just go ahead and close your eyes and get a sense of your feet on the ground. Notice if you're crunching up your toes, see if you can relax your toes and just let them rest on the ground. And notice whether you have equal weight through left and right foot. Maybe you're leaning over to one side, or maybe you're leaning forward, or maybe you're hinging back. So see if you can get a sense. We'll just gently rock from left to right to help us assess that. If you need to open your eyes and you don't like doing that with your eyes closed, that's fine. So just rocking from side to side, and then see if you can stop when you have balance on the left and the right foot. Okay, and there might be an injury or a strain or something that's meant, or even an old injury that you've been avoiding using your certain leg or knee or ankle, whatever body part for some length of time. So just slowly introducing your body back to that side is really important. And then just gently rock forward and back as well. So just feel that gentle swaying, but not so far that you feel like you're going to fall over. You're just noticing that the foot pressure changes when you go too far forward or if you come too far back. And then see if you can find the middle. So we should feel like we're kind of on ice skates. We've got equal weight on both feet, front and back. And then we're just going to check we haven't locked our knees. So we're going to soften the knees and let the tail really drop downwards towards the back of your heels. Okay, so just see how that feels. Take a breath, soften the knees, let the weight settle in your feet. Now, we were talking about range of movement, and just because we can doesn't mean we should. So I'm just going to turn sideways so you can see me. So I'll get my center, okay, find that alignment, and we're going to be gently lifting the arms up, okay? Now what tends to happen is we can either lift the arms up and go all the way and we end up kind of arching our back like this, or we'll lift the arms and we'll lean back. Okay, so a couple of things can go wrong when we have sort of instability in the hips or the spine and we like to hinge on things. So remember, we're going to be reducing the range so that we get more control. So find those feet, soft knees, and all we're going to do is float the arms up from the back of the body to shoulder height. And hopefully we haven't done this and leant back. So if you're near a mirror, that would be great. You could have a look. But otherwise it's down to our awareness as to whether we feel our ribs have flared at the front and whether we can bring them back. And then lower those arms back down. Check that the knees remain soft. So we're going up just to halfway. Can you feel the weight in your back? So sometimes we have to build stability at a much shorter range, because if I've always done big movements, I may not be aware of what stability feels like. So working at this much smaller range with proper alignment can really, really help. And just do one more. And then lower the arms down and just roll the shoulders out. Very good. Now I'll just turn to the front again. So you can either cross your hands over your chest or fold your arms out in front of you. If you're folding them in front of you, just make sure the shoulder isn't being allowed to pull forward. See if you can still draw it back into the back of your body. So building that awareness and that smaller range of movement to get some control. We're going to do an exercise called centering. So ideally we're still balanced left and right, front and back, and you're going to just lift one heel off the ground. Ideally without collapsing like this and locking the knee on the other side. So can you see my pelvis is level as opposed to not level because I've locked. Okay, so just because I can doesn't mean I should be doing this. Can I keep that softness? And then I'm going to lower that heel down. So soft knee on the supporting leg, lifting up, pelvis stays the same, and I lower it down. So it's a very, very good proprioceptive exercise, very functional, helps us build control around our pelvis, our hips, even our ankles. So we don't want our ankles doing this and splaying out and hyperextending. Can we keep them nice and controlled, not doing this? So it's a small movement. I'm only going up to the balls of my feet. Very good. Lower those arms down, roll the shoulders out. Fantastic. Good. So we've done a little bit of centering. We're a little bit more aware of our feet. Let's come, again, if you're not on a mat, just come across the side of your room. To build that awareness and proprioception, we're going to do a little bit of tightrope walking. Okay, so try not to look at the floor, but I know how difficult it is. You might want to look down when you first start. So can you put one foot in front of the other? It actually makes me more wobbly when I look down. So I'm going to look ahead. So one foot in front of the other. So now I've got to have real control and awareness of where my legs are in space. Okay, so you're just going to walk and then turn round and go the other way. So can you put one foot in front of the other? You might find it easier to put your hands on your hips. That can help with the stability a little bit. Fantastic. So that's a really nice, easy thing to do. You can play with that around your house. Just practicing that control of your joints and awareness as you walk. Brilliant. So give your legs a little shake out. Give your arms a little shake out. So we're just going to finish with a couple of squats. Now, I'll turn sideways again so you can see me. So the thing with the squat, again, if you're very bendy, it's very easy to kind of collapse into a squat without having to use any of your muscles. We could just collapse all the way down and kind of hang into it and then hyperextend as we come back up. So I could crash and lock, crash and lock. Yeah, that's going to put a lot of wear and tear on certainly on my knee joints. It pushes me into my lower back. So, and I do that because I can do that. Doesn't mean I should be doing that. So how can we work? Again, it's very functional, yes, sitting down on a chair. How can we work so that we stop doing these sort of hyperextending patterns? Again, it comes down to that control. So we can have slightly wider feet if we need to. You can put your hands here, you can put them here, you can put them out in front, whatever works for you. Very slowly, imagine I put a chair behind you. Very slowly sit on the chair, small range. Look how much smaller it is. Now use your feet to come up out of the chair. Much more control, I'm less likely to do that. So I slowly go into the chair. I use my feet to lift the pelvis up without locking those knees. Slow. And feet lift you up. One more time. Slow. And feet lift you up. So much safer on the joints because I've got much more control while I'm working. So I'm really using my feet. So being connected to the feet are super important. Obviously, when you're upright, this is the only information that you're getting from the ground. And I know it's really, really easy to hang and collapse into these hypermobile postures. But here, we're not really using our legs, we're just hanging off the front of our hips. Okay, but if you really pay attention to your feet and almost press down into the feet, it naturally brings you back. So, you know, working on footwork and footy exercises can be really, really helpful. So I hope you liked that lesson. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. And I look forward to seeing you again soon.